All right, so welcome. So we will be starting our lecture series on ascending tracks. First of all, I want to tell you about some basics. Okay, so what is basically nerve? Nerve is nerve consists of cell body plus axons. Okay, cell body consists of gray matter in central nervous system. So all the gray matter in the central nervous system contains cell body, and axons basically can make all the white matter in the central nervous system. Wherever you see white matter, it is basically axons. Now today we will be talking about the axons. Now I want to tell you about the axons. So axons are present in the three things. First one is the tracks. Okay. So now let me tell you, tracks basically conveys information from the CNS to the body, which is motor, and from the body to the CNS, which is sensory. So it could be either descending or ascending. All right, it could be either descending tracks or ascending tracks. Both of them are made from axon. So the second thing is association fibers. Association fibers, basically, this is a brain. This is the interior portion of the brain. This is the posterior portion of the brain. So interior portion of the brain is linked with the posterior portion of the brain through association fibers. All right. So in knowledge from here is shared with here. This is through the association fibers. And the third thing is the commissures. So axons, so this is again the brain, axons conveying information from right to the left is because of the axons which are called as commissures. So axons here, here, and here in tracts. So all these consist of all they combine together to form white matter. Okay. So now here in the lecture we will only be talking about the tracts. Okay. Now let's begin with the ascending tract. First of all, I need to tell you about the ascending tract. All right. So there would be receptors. All right. And what are receptors? Receptors basically convert touch or stimulus into electrochemical signals. So this would be skin. If skin is touched by something, this touch, because they will be having receptors, receptor will be received by the receptors, and receptors will change this touch mechanical stimulus into electrical chemical energy of action potential, and this action potential will go into the spinal cord. Now I will just briefly tell you about the dorsal column. Dorsal column, medial lemniscus system. In dorsal column medial lemniscus system, there would be four groups of receptors. The first would be called as Meissner receptors. The second one would be Pacinian receptors. The third one would be Golgi, tendon, organ receptors, and the fourth one would be muscle spindle receptors. These receptors will pick any stimulation, all right, and then will travel to the spinal cord through first order neuron, all right. Now what they will do is they will enter into the spinal cord. Okay, so suppose this is the spinal cord. This would be the spinal cord. This is the dorsal root ganglion, and this is the interior ventral root column. All right. So now the sensory fiber from here will travel up to here, and then it will give a cell body here. All right, and then it will go inside the dorsal root column. From the dorsal root column, it will enter into the dorsal column, and it will go upward. Now here you need to remember one thing. That fibers from the lower body will go medially. So suppose this is the spinal cord, all right. So fibers from the lower part of the body, like legs, etc., will ascend medially. And suppose this is from the knee, these will be lateral. And suppose this is from the abdomen, these will be more lateral. And then from hands, more lateral. So as you go upward, the upward you go, so the lateral will be the medial fibers. All right. Now through these first order neurons, what will go upward? It will sense pinprick or fine touch sensations, vibrations, proprioceptions. Proprioception is basically what are your different body parts, where are they located. This is what they mean by proprioception. And like if I told you to close your eyes and tell me where your hand is, so you can tell. Or if you go in outside, and without you knowing, you can move your legs and very accurately, and you even to know that you are covering some distance with perfect precision, right? This is called proprioception, or position of sense of position. Okay. And the last would be uh, 2 point discrimination. Okay, so these all sensations will be picked by these receptors, and then they will be going through sensory nerves in the first order neuron upward. All right. In the dorsal column, so this dorsal column will take all the sensory sensations. This is pure sensory. Okay, this dorsal root ganglion is for pure sensory. This is this place is called as the spinal nerve trunk, and this is the ventral or motor root. This is ventral or motor root. This is pure motor, and this is pure sensory. This one is called as dorsal root ganglion, and this one is the cell body, dorsal root ganglion cell body. And so this nerve will give two processes. This one is called peripheral process, and this one is called central process, which will go inside the central nervous system. All right. So first of all, these fibers will be going from the lower body. All right. And the lower body fibers are called as fasciculus gracilis. Okay, gracilis means like from the lower body, and fasciculus basically means like when they form a rounded structure, like all those axons, when they form a rounded like structure, this is called as fasciculus. All right. And if they make something rectangular shape like this, if they make a rectangular structure, okay, then this one is called as lemniscus. If the axon make a structure like this is called lemniscus. And if they form a circular shape, this is called as fasciculus. So there would be two groups of neurons. One is called as fasciculus gracilis, and this the red one would be called as fasciculus cuneatus. Fasciculus cuneatus. All right. Fasciculus cuneatus would typically take sensations from the upper part of the body, and this fasciculus gracilis would sum up to take all the lower fibers, sensory fibers from the body. So all they will be taking would be pinprick sensation, vibration, and proprioception and position, sense of position. All right. So now they will be going upwards. So they will be going in the dorsal column. All right. They will be going into the dorsal column, and from the dorsal column they will reach to the lower part of the medulla. All right. They will go to the lower part of the medulla, and from the lower part of the medulla they will go into the CNS. Now let me tell you, suppose this is again the dorsal, this is the dorsal column lemniscus. So this would be fasciculus gracilis, and this would be fasciculus cuneatus. Okay, they will go upward in the dorsal column. Now when they go upward, they will reach to the medulla, lower part of the medulla. So this will be the medulla. Okay, in medulla, this is pyramid, this will also be pyramid, this is olive, this is olive. Okay, above these structures there will be four nucleuses. Four nucleus, one, two, three, 4. This one is called as nucleus cuneatus. This one is also nucleus cuneatus. This one would be nucleus gracilis. This is also nucleus gracilis. Okay. Now, so this is the lower part of the medulla. This is the lower part of the medulla. In the lower part of the medulla, what they will do is these fiber will reach. Fibers of the fasciculus cuneatus will go into the nucleus cuneatus, and the fibers from the fasciculus gracilis will go into the nucleus gracilis. So they will go into the they will go to their own nucleuses. All right, gracilis into nucleus gracilis, and fasciculus cuneatus will go into nucleus cuneatus. When they reach up there, there they will decussate. There they will decussate. They will go to the opposite side. Okay, so this will be from the opposite side. Is from the opposite side. From the opposite side to the. All right. So they will do the decussation, and after this decussation, they will change their name. And now these fibers, the decussation fibers, these will be called as internal arcuate fibers. All right. And these are now second order neuron. First order neuron will finish into the nucleuses, and from there, the second order neurons will come out and they will decussate to the opposite side. This is called as contralateral, going to the contralateral side or decussation. Now they will change their name to the internal arcuate fibers, and from there, they will change from the, now here they were fasciculus cuneatus and gracilis. Now they will change their structure. Their structure will become like this. All right, their structure will become like rectangular shape, and this rectangular shape is called as, this is called now medial lemniscus system. Medial lemniscal system. All right, and same from here, they will also combine together and go towards the negative side, and they will change their structure. This change in the structure is called as medial lemniscal system. All right, medial lemniscus system. Now this medial lemniscus, so above this, this was lower medulla, right? This is medulla. This portion is medulla. All right, and from here the spinal cord starts, and from here, all right, from here, you know that this portion is called as pons. This is pons. All right, this is pons. So in pons they will go upward. All right, and from pons what they will do is they will reach to the midbrain. Now the next structure in the way is midbrain. All right, so now let's start the midbrain. So in midbrain will be structure like this. It will have, this is midbrain. All right, and this one in the middle is called a cerebral aqueduct. Cerebral aqueduct, right? And now these structures, they will come here. All right, now these are the second order neurons, if you remember. All right, and they are called as medial lemniscus. Why? Because of the structure. Now they will come to the midbrain, and from the midbrain they will go into the uh, further above. All right, into the brain. Okay, just let me make a space here. All right, just a minute. All right, so here we can form a brain structure. All right, now here we go. Now let's make it quickly. Above the midbrain there is thalamus. Okay, in the thalamus there is one nuclei. Okay, above the thalamus there is one nuclei. This nuclei, and this is internal capsule. All right, This is internal capsule. And with internal capsule, if you want to remember, this one is called as lenticulus nucleus, and there is outer capsule. All right, but you don't need, and in the middle there is caudate nucleus. All right, but you don't need to remember that because that is not included in our pathway. Now let's just uh, take this with us. Now what will happen, this pathway, this the medial lemniscus system, what they will do is they will go directly into the ventro-posterior lateral nucleus of the thalamus, right? And from there, they will insert into the posterior aspects of the internal capsule, posterior aspect of the internal capsule, and from there, then it will form a corona radiata, and from corona radiata, they will insert into this sensory motor cortex, sensory cortex, sorry, sensory cortex. All right. So see, here the fibers will come, right? The fibers will come and will insert into the nucleus, which is called as VPL nucleus. This is VPL nucleus, anterior posterior lateral nucleus, and then there is, this is the internal capsule, right? Internal capsule has two parts. One is called as anterior internal capsule, and this one the posterior internal capsule. So they will go into the posterior internal capsule, and from there this is called as corona radiata, and from corona radiata they will uh, go and to the sensory cortex. Now this one is sensory cortex. All right. In sensory cortex, if you know, this is present here. This one is central sulcus in the brain. Okay, behind the central sulcus here, there would be posterior central gyrus. Okay, this posterior central gyrus. So here would be sensory cortex. See, this one which I made, this is the same one here, and here as well. See, so this one here, so this is the eyes of the person, and this is the nose, and this is the mouth. So if you see here, from here, this goes here to the center of the brain. All right. So this was the dorsal column medial lemniscal system. Okay, that's it. All right.